We live in this high world, right? A world that's always pushing us to climb higher, to achieve more, to make sure everyone sees us. But what if the real way forward, the true path to, well, life, isn't up at all? What if it's down? That's what we're going to get into today. What it actually means to walk low in a world that's obsessed with looking high.
And right off the bat, we're hit with this powerful statement. See, this isn't just, some nice advice or a friendly suggestion. It's presented like a fundamental law of the universe, almost like a spiritual gravity. The idea is simple. If you lift yourself up, you're going to be brought down. But if you humble yourself, you'll be lifted up. So yeah, the stakes are set really high from the very start.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this whole downward path thing, we've got to first figure out what's the problem we're even trying to solve. And it all starts with the self, specifically where we choose to put it.
So, when we talk about pride, we're not just talking about being arrogant or cocky. It goes way deeper than that. Think of it as the heart basically declaring, "My will be done." It's like this foundational posture, a declaration of independence from God, where you put yourself on the throne of your life. And we all know that quiet little whisper in the back of our heads, right? The one that says, "I know best."
And this is where we see just how dangerous pride really is. It's not just one sin among a bunch of others. No, it's more like it's the very soil where all the other stuff grows. It's the contaminated ground. Think about it. Greed, that sprouts from the pride of thinking, I deserve more. Envy, that comes from the pride of, I should have what they've got. You see, it's the root system for basically everything else that goes wrong.
So what this all leads to is a fundamental choice. There are really only two ways to go through life. Two totally opposite paths. And it all comes down to what you decide to do with yourself.
And wow, the contrast between these two paths is just so stark. Let's break it down. Look at the motive. Are you driven by a hunger for applause? Or are you willing to choose obscurity, to do the right thing when no one's watching? Then there's the action. Is your default to compete, to make sure you win? Or is it to serve, to lift other people up? And maybe the biggest tell of all is how you respond to failure. Do you cover up your mistakes to look perfect, or do you confess them openly, knowing that's where real growth actually happens?
Okay, so understanding that there are two paths, that's one thing. But how do you actually do it? How do you practically choose that path less traveled? How do we learn to walk low in our day-to-day lives?
Well, it really boils down to small, daily, intentional choices. For example, at work, maybe you choose to serve someone else's project instead of competing for the spotlight. Or when you mess up, you confess it instead of trying to cover your tracks. Even in a simple conversation, it's making a real effort to listen more than you talk. It's that constant choice between clinging tightly to your stuff, your rights, your time, and just opening your hands.
Now, this is absolutely crucial to understand. Walking low does not mean hating yourself or pretending you don't have any talents. Not at all. It's about changing their purpose. It's about using your gifts for His glory, not your own. It's about building something way bigger than a monument to yourself. And that's a radical shift, right? Suddenly, every success is a gift of grace. And every failure, well, it's not the end of the world. It's just a chance to learn.
I love how this is put. It means you don't deny your worth. You just acknowledge where it comes from. You acknowledge the source. There's that great saying that humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's thinking about yourself less. It really all flows from that one simple question. What do you actually have that wasn't given to you in the first place?
And all of this, it brings us to the final reality, to the bottom line, the ultimate outcome of the path that we're choosing to walk, not just once, but every single day.
And the choice couldn't be clearer. It's put in the starkest terms you can imagine. You just can't cling to your own pride and hold on to the cross at the same time. It's impossible. One hand can't be grabbing for a throne while the other is holding the cross. You have to choose, because pride and grace, they're like oil and water. They're totally incompatible. But you know what? There's such a beautiful sense of relief in this. Choosing humility isn't about picking up some new, heavy burden. It's the opposite. It's about finally putting an old one down. That constant pressure to prove yourself, to protect your image, to promote yourself, man, it's exhausting, isn't it? That's a weight we were never, ever meant to carry. So the invitation to walk low is really an invitation to be free.
So let's just end with this question. In this world that is just obsessed with personal greatness, with building your brand, what would it actually look like in your life to set all that aside? To stop trying so hard to be the source of the light and instead just become a mirror that reflects a greatness that isn't your own, a greatness that comes from somewhere else entirely. That right there is the path of walking low.